Proverbs chapter 4 and verse number 7. Proverbs 4:7. The word of God declares wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom, and with all you're getting, get understanding. The Message translation says, above all and before all, do this. Get wisdom. Write these at the top of your list. Get understanding. The New Living Translation says, getting wisdom is the wisest thing you can do. And whatever else you do, develop good judgment. And that translation amplifies says, the beginning of wisdom is get wisdom, skillful and godly wisdom. For skillful and godly wisdom is the principal thing. And with all you have gotten, get understanding, discernment, comprehension, and interpretation. And another one says, getting wisdom is the most important thing you can do, but along with your wisdom, develop common sense and good judgment. So I want to talk to us about how to create wealth. We're going to zero into how to create wealth as a career person. That's what we're zeroing in on. I just want to use the title, How to Create Wealth, because I want to speak first to the generality of wealth creation, and then we're zeroing into the aspect of you creating wealth as a career person. Now, and the first thing I would like to talk about is what I simply, because when I do a lot of teachings, that's why I've written a lot of books. I try to go through the modules step by step. You cannot complete everything, the books are there. So the first thing I want to talk about is understanding your economic environment. Understanding your economic environment. A lot of people are not able to create wealth simply because they don't understand their economic environment. And because they don't understand their economic environment, they are not able to take advantage of the environment that they find themselves in. Now, so I'm going to speak to those that migrated into Australia, and then I'm going to speak to those that are in Australia and help you to tie it together. Now, when you go from one economic environment to another economic environment, the first thing you are supposed to do is to understand the economic environment you have found yourself in. Now, so you live in Kenya, you live in Zimbabwe, you live in Timbuktu, and then you relocate to Australia. The first thing you're supposed to do is to understand Australia. What language do they speak? How do they drive? How do I get my documentation? What are the laws of Australia that I have to understand? That's what you are supposed to do. But if you don't do that, you can get into the country and you will be sincere, but you will be sincerely wrong, and you break the law and you face the music. Now, in the same way, you can a guy went to Canada and he was pressed, and he came out of the car and started, urinating by the side of the road. He was pressed. He's coming from Africa. We do that in Africa. And even police will wave at you. Say, how are you guys? So the guy comes out and he gets arrested for that. A guy traveled from Nigeria to Dubai and he was crossing the highway, even though there is an overhead bridge. And he could have gone, he just felt over, there's no cars are not coming, so he crossed. And then they arrest him and they take him for psych evaluation. That he must have a mental problem for you to be crossing the roadway. So they need to understand where you are, because sometimes you might be sincere, but you are sincerely wrong. Now, so when you come into an environment, you need to understand the economic environment. Many of us came from a chaotic environment that is not clearly defined. So many of us came from Africa. We came from a lot of places. We came from, Haiti, came from some island somewhere. And then you come into a developed environment and you don't understand, because where you are coming from, when some people tell you, I miss home, what they miss is the chaos. Because there's too much order here. Say, I miss home, if it's Nigeria, I would have known how to navigate this thing now. But this place, you have to follow it. So what they are missing is the chaos. Because now there is order and they are chaotic, so they don't know how to balance. So they're like, if it's Nigeria, I'll just settle. And then I'll move on. But no, you're not in Nigeria, you're not in Kenya. Hello? So you need to understand that when you come into the Western world, Australia is a capitalist society. So the economic environment called Australia is capitalism. And according to the principle of capitalism, listen and listen well, capitalism is not built for salary earners. Capitalism is not built for salary earners. When you are in a capitalist environment and you are a salary earner, you are the tool, you are the pawn that is being used for building wealth. Are you getting that now? So it's not built for, it's built for what? Entrepreneurs. So if you come into an environment that is capitalism, you come in there not to look for a job, but to start a business. I'm going to come to career people. I need to help you understand what. Now, so you find out that when Jews and Asians come into the Western world, they don't come to look for a job. They come to start a business. But when Africans come, we come to look for a job. And that already defines how far you can go in that environment. Because once you are locked into the rat race of salaries and jobs, you're going to be on that track until you find your way out of that track. Because from the day you begin that job, your destination is already defined. Now, listen and listen well. In the rat race of life, even if you win the race, you are still a rat. Why? Imagine someone bragging about the fact that, no, so you're a prisoner. And then you have been in prison and you have handcuffs in your hand. And you are bragging about the fact that your handcuff is made of gold. So whether your handcuff is made of gold, silver, or wood, handcuff is handcuff. So when you are proud about the fact that, no, I do 6 figures, you are still a rat. Your gold is just, your handcuff is just a golden handcuff. Hello? So you find out that when Asians and Jews come, they quickly come to look for a business. So you see them coming, and in less than 2 years, you're like, wow, how did these guys? But we're in the same environment. Why? Because they went straight into the entrepreneurship track, and you went into the career and salary earning track. And then what we don't realize is that in a capitalist environment, the system is rigged against salary earners. So for every money you make, the system has been programmed to collect everything you make. So in a capitalist environment, the taxation system is programmed to collect from the poor and empower the rich. It's programmed to collect from salary earners and empower the entrepreneurs. Because in their mind, in the thinking of capitalism, entrepreneurs are job creators and solution providers. So because they are creating jobs, offering products, offering service, they are more valuable than you that is in the assembly line of salary. So they have to appreciate them for adding value to the environment. Because as far as they are concerned, those are producers, you are consumers. So every money you make, guess what? If you are in the salary race, sometimes it's actually better to have a lower paying job or not to even have a job at all. Because what happens in a capitalist environment is that in order to be able to palliate their conscience, they create a socialist system to take care of the less privileged. So when you go into a capitalist system, they also have a welfare system. That's a palliative to tell them you are not bad, because they know what they are doing. So they do that to palliate their conscience, that at least we take care of the weak, we take care of the poor. Center, okay, sir. So you go for welfare, yeah. So they create that to make them feel that. So you find out that the capitalists that are milking everybody are also involved in charity. They are involved in corporate social responsibility. They are involved just to make you feel they are good people, so that you can stay as a pawn in their hand. And many of you don't understand the system. So you now do one job. You want more money. You get a second job. And many of you are so arrogantly confused. You are now proud and arrogant that, I do 2, 3, 4 jobs. You are confused. You are confused. 2, 3, 4 jobs. Hard work without smart work is foolishness. You are working hard, but you are not working smart, because what you don't understand is that doing those 2, 3, 4 jobs takes you into a higher tax bracket. It's actually better not to do the job and earn low, because there is a tax bracket you enter into where they collect all your money. Because as a salary earner, you are taxed first and you are left with the rest. But as an entrepreneur, you spend everything and you are only taxed when something is left, and nothing is ever left. Nothing is ever left. But because you are afraid of starting something, what if I fail? What if you succeed? You are locked in the rat race, and you know what they do? So they set you up and they make sure that during the weekends they go on holiday and spend time with their family. And you that lack wisdom, they give you 2-3 times payment on Saturday and Sunday, so that you will leave your family and go look for job. You leave God. So Sunday you are earning 3-4 times. Saturday you are earning 4-5 times. And before you know it, many of you that left your country saying God, I will serve you, you have not been to church in 5 years. And now the church that birthed you has become your enemy. And then you talk bad of the church, you talk bad of pastor, because on the inside of you, the guilt of your disconnection is making you to vomit nonsense. So Saturday and Sunday, you are busy making money. They are busy with having time with their family. So they are married 10, 15, 20, 30 years. You come in here, and less than 4 years you are divorced. Less than 2 years you are separated. Less than 10 years you are confused. And now the children go to school from Monday to Friday. You don't have time for them. They don't have time for you. Everybody's busy. The weekend, you are supposed to sit down with your children and get to know what they have gone through during the week, and mentor them and guide them and help to correct whatever error the school system has put in them. You are busy working. So you wake up one day and discover your daughter is on drugs, your son is on drugs, your son is in pornography, your son is confused whether he's male or female. And then the church you have abandoned, the church you call foolish, the God you refuse to pray to, is the same God you now come to. Oh God, help me. How do you use God like that? Hello? How do you come to him only when you need him, as if he's a fire brigade? Or is AA that you call when your car has a problem? Hello? So you lose the children. Do you know that on Sunday, when you're in the car with your children, when you're going to church with them, that may be the only time you have to even listen to their conversation? Because in our own days, when your parents wants to punish you, they also go into your room. That's punishment, because in the room there's no TV, there's nothing. But today, going to your room is not a punishment. They're actually in their room. They don't even want to be with you because they're in their world on the gadgets. So today now, you are not there to parent them, and we have surrogate parenting in the media, social media, and your children are being parented by teachers. And they even tell you, my auntie said, teacher said, they're even arguing with you because they believe the teachers more than you. Because they see the teachers every day, they see hardly. The Sunday, they are supposed to go with them in the car, hear what they are saying, talk to them, then go to church together, come back, go to a restaurant, eat, come home, watch a movie, go watch, and bond with your children. You are busy collecting 3 salaries. And then at the end of the day, you think you are doing well. And then all the cars and the houses you buy, they will sell to take drugs. And then they end up in one therapy session, they end up depressed, they end up, and then you are now praying, Pastor, pray. How does that work? Because you don't understand. I'm going deeper now. You see, are you ready for this? Capitalist environment is a credit society. It's what? It's a credit society. But many of you come from environments where it's cash. So when you come into a credit society, because you don't understand your economic environment, you mess up your credit score within the first 2 years. Because you are so excited that you mean, I can buy a car, pay small, so, and then you quickly collect a car and take picture and send to your people. So that you can show them. And then before you know it, you mess up your credits. And then before you know it, it takes 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years to be able to repair the credits you messed up because you didn't understand the economic environment. You did not, and then if you come from another religious water, oh no man, nothing. And then that becomes a software that runs you again. Because you don't understand that there's a difference between good debt and bad debt. Good debt is a leverage, bad debt is a bondage. And instead of you to take the debt and use it to build wealth, you come and say, I'm not going to owe nobody. And then the time you want to owe, you are buying electronics on credit. So many of you now, because you don't understand the economic environment, you have used credit to keep yourself poor instead of using credit to create wealth. So now the car you are driving, you are paying on credit. We come to your house now, electronics, your TV, your fridge, even the sofa, all the gadgets on credit. And you are not even at home to watch the TV. Who did this to you? You are buying sofa on credit that you are not having. When last did you sit on that sofa? You bought all the gym equipment. When last did you enter that garage? So you are messing up your life, acquiring liabilities, and going deeper in debt. And one house you have not bought. No rental property. No real estate portfolio. No stocks, no shares, no gold. And then you are wondering, then the next thing, to now palliate yourself, you say it's village people. That there are some forces of your father's house pursuing you. No, it's not a generational curse. It's a generational choice. It's a generational choice. You made a wrong choice. So when you understand your economic environment, you will quickly study the economy of the land, study credit system, and you begin to collect the credits to build wealth. Because that's what rich people do. They use other people's money. They don't use their own money. Hello? Are you getting anything already? Let's go deeper. Now, in case you messed up your credits, let me just throw that because this is free meeting. I didn't charge to come. If I'm to charge, every session is $10,000. Just to let you know. Now, but you see, let me throw in some things because some things are counseling, some things are consultancy. So counseling is free. Consultancy attracts a fee. Where there's a voice, there's an invoice. So just to help you, just to throw this out there, listen. When you understand the system, many of you have messed up your personal credit. And it has affected the opportunities you can maximize in the city and in the country. But if you know what to do, you can work on your credit and get it corrected within 2 years. Even in 3 years max, you're good. If you know what to do. That's not the purpose of this. With that one, I can charge you and help you with that one. But now, guess one of the things you can do is this. You need to understand that you are an entity. And your business is an entity. So if you don't have a good credit, one of the things you can do to fast track your journey is to register a business and use the mistake you have made in your personal life and build the positive credit of that business. So that business can have good credit, even though the owner of the business has bad credit. Do you get it now? I've just given you $10,000 free. And that's what you can do. And before you know it, you can now use that business to do a lot of things you need to do. Because once you're an entrepreneur, every expenses can be covered with your business. Every expenses. Your children can start earning money. Your house can become an office. Even your mortgage can be included. Your feeding, everything. Give birth to children, diapers, everything there where you can be. That's what rich people do. It's called avoiding tax, not evading tax. Tax evasion is a crime. Tax avoidance is wisdom. So rich people don't pay taxes. Many of you probably heard the story of Donald Trump when he was president. And you saw how that guy was not paying as much tax as even though he's a billionaire. You know, he did something amazing last year. His ex-wife died. They've divorced for over almost 17 or 20 years of divorce. And the woman dies. And Donald Trump goes to the woman's family to ask for the corpse. Yeah, to ask for the corpse and say, please, can I have a dead body? They say, oh, you are divorced. What do you need a dead body for? He said, I just need a dead body to, just to immortalize her, to memorialize her. They said, no, we can't give you the dead body. He said, okay, I will pay you. So he paid millions to the family of the ex-wife to get the body, and goes to his 50-acre property in New Jersey and buries her there. Because according to the law in that state, Anywhere a dead body is buried, you don't pay tax forever. It's now a graveyard. So in his portfolio, the 50 acre is worth millions of dollars, but he's not going to pay tax for it because he buries one human being there. Now, why was he able to do that? Because he knew what to do. That's understanding your economic environment. Many of you are hardworking, but you are not smart working. You don't understand the system. The system is rigged against you because you chose to stay with salary. I'm going to 3-4 jobs. I'm going to my second job. Shh. Stop that. Relax and learn. And don't continue. Think about it. Before you know it, you are 40. Before you know, you are 50. Before you know, you are 60. And you realize that you are just in the same cycle. Just in the same cycle. The hands are not meeting. Why? Because the system is rigged against you. Let me say this finally before I now zero into how you can now create wealth as a career person. We need to understand the importance of collaboration. We need to understand the importance of collaboration. When I go around the world, I see a major problem with people in our community. Especially Nigerians. I don't know if Kenyans and Zimbabweans have that problem. But you hear Nigerians vomit nonsense and say things like, I don't do things with Nigerians. I don't go to Nigerian churches. I don't do this, I don't do that. And you don't know that it's colonial mentality. It's the software of colonialism that is still running your life. Because somewhere in your subconscious mind, the white man is better than you. Somewhere you have what we call self-loath. You loathe yourself. And you are addicted to approval. Looking for somebody to approve you. So that when a white man or a Caucasian says, you are my friend, you feel that you are now more superior. Hello? Now listen. Go to Asians and go to Jews. They do things together. When money goes into the Jewish community, it circulates almost 27 times before it leaves that community. Asian community like 36 times. In African community, in less than 1 hour, he's gone. Because we don't even trust each other. So Asians will come into a place and come together, put resources together, and empower each other to stand. Jews will do the same. But try to get your African brother to just support your business or support your dream. They are the one that will tell you, don't patronize. Hello? So Jews will come together, Asians will come together, and they carry their culture with them. Hello? They carry their God, they carry their culture, they carry their language, they carry their values. But when we come into the Western world and talk bad of everything that made us who we are, and then we raise our children telling them our country is a shit country, our country is a useless country, and then you westernize your children, and then you are surprised when they treat you with westernization. And when you are sick, they put you in a nursing home. Why? Because that's what you raise them to be, Westerners. So many of you now have children that you have to be pursuing. They don't call you, even though you spend all your money training them, they don't call you. You have to call them. Oh, Dad, I'm busy. Can I call you back, Dad? Can I call back? I'm sorry, I'm going to have to call this call. I'll call you back. And you're like, you hear me? Yeah, because you raise them like that. A Jewish child will never do that. An Asian child will never do that because they are raised with a culture of honor and respect that is unique to them. But you come into another culture and you don't know how to acculturize. Come tomorrow, we're going to deal with some stuff. Hello? Are you learning anything? So we need to come together and begin to form what I call wealth creation networks. Wealth creation networks. And this is what I push as I go around the world, talking to business people and talking to our community in different parts of the world. And right now we have done that, and we have testimonials of people now in Tampa, Florida, in New York, now in Dallas, in Manchester, in London, that have started wealth creation, and they are raising millions of pounds, millions of dollars. So let's think about it this way. Many of you sitting down here right now, once you have a legal status and you have a stable job, you can afford to raise $10,000. Once you have a good status, legal status, and a good job, you can afford to raise $10,000. But guess what? The $10,000 that you can raise may not be able to do much for you as an individual. But if 100 of us come together and put our 10,000 together, raising millions can be done every month. So every month we can raise 1, 2, 3 million, and we can take an entire territory. We can buy shopping malls. We can build an entire subdivision. And we can create wealth in less than 10 years. Everybody can become multi-millionaires legitimately. Instead of all this rat race nonsense that you guys are doing. Hello? And you see, the amazing thing is that you keep thinking you are all right because you are comparing yourself with people that you left back home. No, you don't compare yourself with those that are behind you. Compare yourself with those that are ahead of you. Because many of you left your country because you are looking for a better life. Because before you left, you were thinking, oh, if I go to Australia, I'm going to do $3,000 times 1. Okay, wow. But you have forgotten that you will now spend in dollars. So many of you now, your monthly mortgage was your annual rent, where you are coming from. And now you are confused. Hey. Hello? So let's start creating wealth creation networks. So are you telling me that all your life, you don't have 9 people you can trust to join you and 10 of you can create wealth together? So what kind of friends do you have? For you to make something like, I don't have any friend, it's an indictment against you. It means you are a bad person. Nobody has been telling you the truth. You know me, I don't need your money. I don't care about whatever. In case you don't know me, that's where I am. I don't care. I will tell you the truth. If you want to cry, cry. If you want to be angry, be angry. It's your problem. Hello? How can you say I don't trust anybody? Shut up. You are talking rubbish. You don't trust anybody. But you flew to Australia. So the pilot is your uncle. Abi, the pilot is your uncle, right? You enter the plane from your country to another country. I don't trust anybody. Stop talking rubbish. Hello? You can never live without trust. Your problem is you don't have intentional trust. You have subconscious trust. Hello? You trust a pilot you have never met. Whether the guy is a drunkard, you don't know. Whether he has mental issues, you know, my mental health. Whether you don't know what the guy, you enter the plane, say, I don't trust anybody. Why are you saying things like that? So sit down now. Hey, girlfriend, oh, that's my G. And so all the relationship you are doing is not to create wealth together. It's to gossip and check who is the latest, who is having who breakfast, who is breaking who's that's all. So look for 10 people. Even if you don't want to cross your country, let the Sudanese, hello, come together. Let the Zimbabweans come together. Let the Nigerians, let the Kenyans come together. Stay within your communities if you don't want to cross your nationality. Hello? But if we can all come together, wow. 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 Think of it. If 10 of you can come together and all you can do is $10,000 a year, which many of you can actually do 10,000 a month or a quarter, that gives you a lot of money. You can start buying properties cash. You can buy an entire mall. Hello? And what happened to our church will not happen. Because you bought only one. And they say they can't approve it because your parking is not enough. Why? Because all your neighbors are sons of Belials. And the Antichrist spirit is working through them. And they're writing petition against you that they can't even remember they wrote the petition. Because there was just a brainwave. But imagine that you bought the entire mall. And you are the one selling to them. Who will come and remove you? The council themselves will have to invite you and be discussing with you to move forward. That's the realm we should be talking about. Dominion in the marketplace. Not all this poverty mentality that you are still living with the Western world. They are looking for a seat at the table. Create your table. So they should give us a seat at the table. Which table? Create your table. And let them come and begin to ask us. Hello? So let's think of coming together. You say, oh, you can't trust anybody. Look, Nobody is trustworthy. All human beings are the same everywhere. Hello? All things being equal. Many of you that look normal now, you are looking normal because you are in a society that the law has normalized you. So nobody needs to tell you not to overspeed because there's consequence for the action. So you correct yourself. When you get to a place, you queue up. But the same you that looks normal now, land in Nigeria tomorrow. Land in Kenya tomorrow, you discover that you are not normal. Because that thing will start moving because you know that there is no law. You know that once you see the policeman, you can just put something in his hand and he will forget the law. So nobody is really that good. It's the system. So in the same vein, when you say you don't trust anybody, you are still importing the injustice of your country to the Western world. Everything should be done with legality. So there should be a legal document that binds all of us together. You will be amazed that everybody will comply. I was shocked when I went to Tampa, Florida, and discovered that there was a group that has been existing for 15 years and nobody has ever defaulted. And I wanted to study their templates. How do people do it? It's the law. There's nothing like you're my brother, you're my sister. The days of shaking hands on it is over. Document. Anybody mess up, you are gone. And by the time they use, that's why you see, nobody's above the law. You didn't look at what's happening to Donald Trump now. Look at what's happening to Biden's son. The president's son is indicted. The former president. That's what they use to sanitize the system. They will sacrifice you to keep the law going. Because in the law says anyone caught. That's what the law says. Anyone caught. Not everyone that does it. So 17 people can be doing something wrong. All the law needs is one. It's called the scapegoat principle. You cannot go to court and say, no, but there were 17 of us. No, anyone caught. Not anyone doing it. So once you are the one that is caught, they will now use you as a scapegoat to tell other people not to try it. That's what keeps above the law intact. Hello? I hope we've got it that down. Let it up. Okay. So let's now go into, let me just rush through. So now, you know the idea that you should do. But many of you are now salary earners, and there's nothing wrong in that. So how do you now, as a career person, create wealth? Why you are still trying to navigate your way? Because we all start from somewhere. So many of you are in school, you came into school, you have student loan, you get a job. So sometimes, even though you know what to do, it takes a while to start doing it. Because the reality is that you need to clear some things. Because some people are coming from below ground zero. Some people are on ground zero. Some people can live here now and they hit the ground running tomorrow. Hello? I got an email sometime the last 1 month from someone in Kenya that listened to me, and she sent me an email less than 2 weeks after listening to me, and she said, you changed my life. And she sent me proof that immediately I listened to you, the next day I opened a stock account, I started it, and she sent me that in less than 2 weeks, she has invested in a lot of things. She's now buying this land, buying that. She had the money in the bank, but she didn't know what to do. But by getting, okay, so she quickly registered the business. The next day she opened the stock account. She was practicing, and in less than 2 weeks, she's like, I don't know, it's like in less than 2 weeks, my life is just, I'm just like, I can see clearly now. So sometimes some people are below ground zero. Some of you now, if I give you $10,000 now, you will thank God, but you are still going to be in debt. Because what you are owing is like 80,000. So you are below ground zero. So some things you cannot practice until you come to zero level. Or you begin to sow. So just note those things I've said. And don't let it become a judgment to say, oh, maybe you are a failure. You're not a failure. The day you wake up, that's when your morning starts. If you know better, you do better. So now you know better. But now if you are a salary earner, and I think I'm seeing some young people here, for those of you that are young, listen, so that you're not going to repeat the mistake of your parents. So if you are a career person, everybody cannot be an entrepreneur. But everybody must be an investor. So some of you are going to become career professionals. So let me run you through how to create wealth as a career person. There are 10 things, but I will share 4 or 5 with you and we'll close. So you get the book and get the rest. Number 1, start early. Start early. The problem with a lot of us is that, by the age of 19, I'd already done 3 businesses. By the age of 19, I'd already been in ministry. So I started very early. So I know the benefits of starting early. There are a lot of 25-year-old, 27-year-old, 30-year-old young people today that are asking me, Pastor, how do I discover God's purpose for my life at 30? A quarter of a century of your life is gone. You are still talking purpose. What have you been doing for the last 25 years? Many of you, the reason why you are where you are is because you didn't start early. Many of you, at the age of 36, you discover you should be. And many of you you've not discovered, you are just following the trend. Whoever is doing care, you go into care. Oh, bro, I want to do nursing. I want to do nothing. Because that's the next everybody is into IT, you go to IT. Project management, scrum master. You're just jumping around, no vision. Hello? So you want to create what has called number 1, start early. Discover exactly what, if you decided that I'm going to be a professional in this field, go in there. Start and don't be distracted. Why do you need to start early? In the pyramid of the marketplace, there's what we call a salary scale. The salary scale is like a triangle. At the bottom are those that we call the junior staff. At the middle are those we call middle management. At the top are those we call senior staff. Now, the people at the bottom are more than those at the top. But if you put all the salaries of those that are at the bottom together, it's not compared to those at the top of the top. But guess what? When they want to lay off people, they don't lay off people at the top because they are not easy to replace. It's still the same poor people they will lay off. So why do you need to start early? It takes an average, listen to this, it takes an average of 10 to 15 years for you to go from the ground floor to top floor. So in any industry, for you to get to the place where you are now really in top middle management, or you get into the management level where you begin to really get the benefit of that career, it takes an average of 10 to 15 years. So if you don't start early, when will you now get there? So what happens to many of us is because of the mismanagement of our seasons, you start late. So by the time you are now getting to that top management, you're already married with 3 children. The liabilities of your life is now eating up the asset of your life. But if you started early, if you left school at 21, so you see a lot of people in the country that were born in the country, many of the people that are your managers are younger than you. Many of the people that are your bosses are younger than you. They are not even as educated as you. Because some of them just left high school, did 1 or 2 certifications, and they started. But because of longevity, because they've been there for 15 years, they are now the managers, even though they don't have master's degree, they don't have PhD. So you come in with PhD and you start as a trainee. Hello? So you need to start early. So when you start early, it helps you. Because by the time you get to that level, the benefits are what makes you wealthy. So that's what makes you an high net worth individual. When you get there, you are not just collecting salary. There are bonuses. There are stock options. There are target bonuses. There are special benefits. There are official car, official trip, official. So you get so many things that you're supposed to pay for, the company pays for because you are senior management. And that gives you a leverage. Hello? Number 2, give it all it takes. Give it all it takes. In the marketplace, it's not by emotion and sentiment. In the marketplace, it's not activity, it's productivity. So give it all it takes. You see, if you start early, you will most likely be single and unmarried. If you start early, you will most likely have little responsibility. So you can do all you can. You can resume early, close late. You can volunteer. You can do so many stuff. And those are the things that will now become the asset of your life. Because by the time you give it all it takes, when you now finally get married and you are asking for 2 days off, they say, oh, no, let her go. She's very good. Because they can now see what you did. You are now doing what we call making deposits for the day that you need to make withdrawals. But you know what happened to a lot of us? Instead of giving it all it takes, we still go there with, I can't come and kill myself. So And you go there thinking, not here, I'm just gonna do the little I can't do. No. When I start my own business, no. Do the best you can now. That's what, because listen, are you ready for this? There are people that determines how far you go in every career. Hello? That's going to be the fourth point. I'm going to get there. So if you give it all it takes, so you get into the organization, you are giving it all it takes, somebody's watching you. Because there are appraisals being done. And most of the time, you will not be there when the discussion about your promotion is being mentioned. And if there's no voice in the room representing you, you can stay the same stuff. Number 3, get all the certification you can get. Get all the certification you can get. See, in this marketplace, they value certificate. Because you are in a capitalist environment, because they know that people are out to get them to sue them. There are many things you can do in your country without certificate. If you try it here, you are in trouble. Hello? One of our ministers relocated to a country, and then they had to run away and come back to Nigeria in less than 3 years. And what has happened was, he was the one that got a job. By virtue of getting the job, they relocated the whole family. And then he goes to work, but the wife is just sitting down at home doing nothing. And then she just thinks, let me just start daycare. They have 3 kids. So she starts collecting children from people's houses. And she starts daycare in the house without certificate, without license, without anything. With the Nigerian mindset. And then, before you know it, is it duty of care or whatever? They have all this language they use now. And then before you know it, they brought the lawyers. Before you know it, it was almost going to a jail level. It was becoming a criminal case. And then the only thing that helped them was because they were planted in a church in that country. And the vice president of our country, the former vice president, was a pastor, or is still a pastor in that denomination. So by virtue of the church, they had to now get the presidency of our country to quickly intervene. And the only way that they could be helped was to suspend it and for them to leave the country. So they had to come back to Nigeria. Now, what is wrong in gathering children? But because you are in a place where certification. So in the marketplace, get all the certification you can get. You see, the problem with us is you don't understand. You see, these people, even for you to be an electrician, that you have been an electrician in Nigeria for 17 years, does not mean you will come here and be joining wire together. You will end up in jail. That I know I was a plumber, I'm a mechanic. No. And guess what? All you need may just be a 1-week training and certification, and you are good. But because you don't understand, so many of you, the things you call menial jobs, there are no menial jobs, only menial minds. Many of these people you are looking down make more money than you. The plumbers, the electricians, they make more money than you. That's what many of you should be doing. Go and get your certification. You can do a 3-month online course. You can do a 1-month online course. Hello? Pastors. Do you have a degree in certificate? Do you have a certificate in counseling? Just go and do counseling course online. Get your certificate. You'll be charging money for marriage counseling. Legally, you give them invoice, they'll pay. How many members give you money when they come for counseling? They waste your time. You fast, you pray, even your birthday, they will forget. All you need to do, man of God, I can make you rich. I'm a rich man. I know what I'm talking about. So I'm not just rich now, I'm a globally rich man. So when I'm talking money, you listen. Hello? Hello? And I'm not rich by offering. I've got real estate all over the world. Hello? Just go and do a certificate in counseling. 6 weeks. Frame it in your office. You start collecting money. Family life counseling, recovery, all kinds of courses you can do. 6 weeks, 6 weeks, 6 weeks, 6 weeks. And before you know it, you'll be charging correct. So when you are going to church office, you are going to work, not for people to come and queue. I saw a mosquito and the rat was pursuing me and then one snake came out. And that's what you are wasting your life doing. Hello? Number 4. I want to give you 5 and I close. Number 4. So number 1 is what? Start early. Number 2 is what? Give it all it takes. Number 3, get all the certification you can get. Number 4, network strategically. Network strategically. You see, many of us think, I hear people say this, no, you don't need to know anybody. Your work will speak for you. You are still elementary. You are fooling yourself. If you are making that kind of statement, I can guarantee you are a poor man. Ask any rich man in this country, they will tell you, you need to know somebody. That's the way the marketplace works. It's when you are still saying you don't need to know anybody, your work will speak for you. No! In every industry, there are gatekeepers. There are power brokers. There are people that determine what happens. The reason why you are not aware is because you have not touched the market share. All your money is still elementary. When you start touching the market share and you start making some kind of money, you will know that there are people that run things in Australia. There are gatekeepers in every industry. Hello? So what do you need to do? Network strategically. Have mentors, have sponsors. On your social media, if you're in an industry, find out who are the power brokers in this industry. Who are the people in this country that matter in this industry? Follow them on social media. Check what they are doing. See all the opportunities. Because let me tell you something. How many of you are here now? And you are pastors? How many of you are part of the chaplains? How many of you are here right now? How many of you are part of Rotary, Lions Club, and all this global club? And you are in the country. You're joking. You're joking. So if you're a pastor, you should be a chaplain. It's a strategic move. Chaplaincy is global. Hello? And there are things that you'll be recognized by the government for instead of the bishop title you are carrying. Hello? Just go join the Lions Club. Go join the Rotary. You'll be amazed at what the Rotary can do for you in Australia in 1 year that you have not gotten in 10 years. Just because you are a member, many barriers are broken. Many of the people you see on TV, many of the people you are trying to meet, you walk up to them in Rotary. Hey, how are you? I will try to see, okay, well, no problem. Just give me a call, this is my number. And that's it, it's done. Network strategically. Stop gathering with poor people. Gisting in saloon. Just moving with people going nowhere. Poor man, canceling poor man. Hello? Network strategically. When you are in an office, it is not sucking up to people. It's mentorship. It's connection. You don't need everybody, but you need some people. There are those who matter to your matter. And when it matters, they must be there. Or else the matter will still be there. Hello? So network strategically. Listen to me. There are rooms of destiny. And I think I spoke about it in the book. There are rooms that determine your destiny. Everybody is born in a room called labor room. But your conception was done in a room called the bedroom. And when you come back from the labor room, you go back into the bedroom or the baby's room. And when you're going to be fed, you come into the sitting room. And then there's a dining room. There are rooms of destiny that determines how far you go. But there's also a throne room that determines what happens in the physical. But there's also a boardroom that determines what happens in the marketplace. So in the boardroom where decisions are made, do you have a voice that will speak on your behalf? So networking strategically gives you a voice in every boardroom. Because when decisions are going to be made on who to lay off or who to promote, you will not be there. Your lack of strategic networking or throne room activation will make your name to be forgotten. They will have made decisions. Oh, I actually forgot about you. That's what. Oh, don't worry, next time. And then that's 3 years. Hello? Let me give you an example. There's a woman in the Bible called Vashti. Wonderful woman, married to a man, having a wonderful time. And then one day the guy decides to celebrate. And then They started doing this 6-month celebration. They're just living righteous life. 6 months. And then the guy is sitting there, they say, hey, go call my wife. Let her come and show them. Is that what you should be? Is that the way you should treat your wife? To turn her into a model to present to your. But it goes and say, come. And the lady say, I'm busy. I'm also doing my own stuff. If you are married here, there is no married man here that has never heard no from their wife. We hear no every time. We are still married. So there is nothing wrong in your wife telling you no. So the woman says, no, I'm not coming, I'm busy. So they come to the guy, say, well, she says she's busy, she's not coming. So the guy says, no problem. And he's about to continue the business. Then somebody says, hey, excuse me, sir. No, read your Bible. The guy was okay. He was about to continue the business. Hey, sir. No, we can't continue. What she has just done now, if we allow it to slide, other women will start disrespecting their husband. They were already disrespecting you. Don't use this one as an open door. They were already disrespected. Why are you trying to use this one? It's because there was no voice. Please read your Bible. In the same sentence, I think we should remove her from the throne. I think we should get another. And then the guy starts, it's as if they have been waiting for her downfall. The guy starts talking to the ego of the man. Sir, we need to let her go look for a young girl. That will be. So the guy is speaking to the emotion of the man. He said, let us look for somebody. And the man said, that's true. And all of a sudden, everybody agreed. Please, not one person spoke for her. Nobody said, oh, no, we can't do that. Madam is not like that. Oh, no, we know her. She must just be having a bad day. Oh, let me go and call her myself. Nobody spoke for her. So what kind of life was she living? I'm the queen. You guys are subjects. I'm the queen. I'm the first lady. And nobody spoke for her. So that arrogance here, I don't need anybody. All I need is God. Be fooling yourself. Like we say in Africa, just they play. Hello? You say you don't need anybody, you need God. You need people. Even God need people. Hello? So network what? Strategically. So that when it's time for Memucan to try to kill you, people will speak and silence Memucan. I run different organizations. I'm on board of different corporations. And sometimes we are making decisions. And I'm sitting down there because I'm a pastor. I'm like, hey, this is people's life we are discussing. No. Hey. That's how somebody would. So some people, I was in a meeting in the boardroom one day. And we're deciding how to lay off some people. And 2 of them was just like glass, and they were passing by. So I looked and I'm like, hey. So I has wife and 3 children. Look at the way he's laughing. He doesn't know now that this is last week in the office. And we are the one making that decision. Hello? And that's where it is. I've gone to the office before with a determination that this guy is gone. He's got to go. And I get there, and someone says, excuse me, sir. You know, you preached a message. God is a God of second chance. Somebody will be pleading on their behalf. That you preached a message that we are all a work in progress, that let's give him a second chance. Somebody will be reminding me of my message. Say, sir, you know, you are a father. Let's just mentor him. Let's give him a little time. You know, the Bible said that Jesus said, give him 1 more year. And because I'm a pastor, I will hear the word and I will say, okay, let's give him 1 more year. And the guy will not know that he will have lost his job. Somebody spoke for him. That's why you need to network strategically. Be good to everybody you meet. You never know how connected people are. Finally, and I close. Get the remaining in the book. If you don't buy the book, wait till next time. Hello? Number 5. Understand the business of your career. Understand the business of your career. I was speaking to a group of people years ago. It was in the 90s. The story is in the book, actually. 1998, I believe. And one of them, who is also a contributor to the book, because one of the things I did with the book is there are 16 contributors. These are people that I have trained and mentors that are now wealthy people. So they share their own story and they are still career people. So one of them now asked me a question, 1998, I believe. And he said, sir, I've heard everything you have said, because I was talking about freedom from labor, how you can be free from the rat race. He said, I've heard everything you have said. So, but some of us are not interested in starting businesses. We want to build our professional career, we want to be top of our profession. So are you saying that we cannot become wealthy because we want to become professionals? So I said, no, you can. But you must understand the business of your profession. There's a difference between the legal business and legal profession. There's a difference between the medical business and the medical profession. There are billionaires in the medical field, but they are not medical doctors. They are in medical business. They produce the machines, they produce the drugs, they produce the gloves, they produce the syringes, they produce the PPE, they are involved in the business of medicine. They didn't go to medical school. But those that went to medical school are clocking in and clocking out and being paid per hour and going on strike. Hello? So, whatever profession you are involved in, what is the business side of it? Because show business has a show and it has a business. There are people that are involved in the show. They don't understand the business of the show. Hello? There are people that are not footballers, but they are in the sports business. They are billionaires. But those that are playing get money. And 70-80% of what they get goes to people that are not playing. Because they are the people in the business. There are movie stars that you know today. And they tell you, oh, the person was paid 20 million. What entered his hand is 3 million. 17 million did not come. Because the people that understand the business, taxman collects his own, and the business people collect their own. And the person, the manager will collect, trainer will collect, lawyer will collect. At the end of the day, the person that they pay 20 million has only 3 million with her. Why? Because there are people that understand the business. So what career profession are you in right now? What is the business in that career? If you have spent 5 to 10 years in an industry, you should become a consultant in that industry. You should be able to start a business in that industry that will make you richer than the salary you were earning in that industry. But many times, the reason why we are not able to do it is because we are so salary conscious. Because the software that runs our mind is survival. We just want to survive. So you are working to earn instead of working to learn. You don't work to earn, you work to learn. You should learn how things work. That's the way you are going to be able to excel. So I don't know what career path you are in right now, but there's a business in that career. That's what you should be looking into. Because once you understand the business of your career, that's where the real money is. The real money is not in the salary. The real money is in the business that produces the salary. Thank you.
Thank you. Wow. We don't work to earn, we work to learn. How many of you are learning in your careers? Wow. Come on, let's give another hand of applause. So many nuggets. Collaboration. I am for collaboration. I saw it bring my mom to be an independent, wealthy woman because she collaborated through crisis. And we have been open to our eyes to know that in this room, we can own malls. We can own all these things if we take what we've had today and implement it. Start young. And for those of you who are young, who are here, if you take this seriously, I believe it's going to change your lives. But even for us who are older, we can collaborate and cheat the system. We are now going to go into a Q&A session where we will have your questions. Pastor Angel, if we have cards with your question, or you can use the mic.
All right, so there's a question here. May you please elaborate on how to leverage your business to take care of all your everyday expenses?
Okay, so there's something called the power of a cooperation. When you register a business in the eyes of the law, that business is a different entity than you that owns the business. So the business now employs you, even though you are the owner of the business. Now, according to the law of taxation and the law of capitalism, you don't pay taxes except you have made profit. So you pay taxes on your profits, not on your income. Because in a corporation, there's what we call overhead, there's what we call running costs. Now, you as the owner of the business, you are the one that determines what your overhead or your running costs will be. So if you start a business, whatever money you make, the law expects that everything it costs you to run the business and everything it costs you to make that money should be deducted. And whatever is left is what you will pay taxes on. So when you own a business, instead of you owning things, let your business be the owner of the things. So the car you are driving should not be in your name. The car should belong to the business. So your business will be the one that will buy the car, be paying the insurance, paying the car note, and you are the one using the car. So it's an official tool for your business. Instead of you going to rent an office somewhere, take one room in your house, take your garage, convert it to an office. That becomes your office. That business is supposed to pay rent. So that rent that your business is paying for that one room can be your mortgage every month. So that means you are having the rest of your house for free. Your son or your daughter can finish school and come work in that business 2 hours a day to arrange files, to clean, to dust, and you pay them as a casual staff or ad hoc staff or contract staff. And that month. Now, when you are going out every Sunday as a family to go and eat in a restaurant, that can be called a business expenses because you are now going out together as the owners of the business to discuss. So every Sunday you have a stakeholders management meeting to discuss. All your clothes and your shoes can be bought by the business because they are the costume that you are using to run the business, because you have to be presentable to make money. So by the time you do all that, almost everything you are spending money on, you will deduct from the business. And at the end of the day, if you are traveling for summer vacation, the business will pay because we are going on vacation. We have labored. We are now going to rest so that we can be. So that vacation will be called a retreat. So you went for a retreat to go and plan and rejuvenate. The business will pay. That's how rich people. So at the end of the day, there's no profit. So you are not paying any tax. And it is legal. It's not illegal. It's legal. That's what rich people do. Hello? Thank you.
How can you leverage your job to build a business?
Okay, so whatever you do, you need to save. One of the benefits of salary is predictability. So you have predictable income. So you can have predictable savings. So you need to save a minimum of 10 to 20% of your income. That can help you build something that you can now use to be able to start your business. Then all the experiences you are getting, listen to what I'm about to say now. The experiences you are getting, the contacts you are getting are all part of the things that you will need for your business. So every time you are working in a place, network strategically. Get to know people. get their number, stay in touch with them, because they may become your customers, your investors, your advisors, your referrers tomorrow. So if you live in a community, get involved in the community. If your children are in a school, get involved in your children's school. Join the PTA, join Rotary, join chaplaincy, join all, so that you know a lot of people. Now, because you are working in an organization, when you are knowing them based on the credibility of that organization. And if you have known them for 2 to 5 years, and they have seen consistency in the relationship, by the time you are starting your own business, even though your business does not have any credibility, the credibility of the fact that they've known you for 5 years is what they will use to rate your business that you are starting, and they will support you. So one of the things that you need to understand is leveraging what you have now to get to where you need to get to. And you need to be strategic and intentional about it.
So just a follow-up on that. We have a follow-up on that.
Okay, on that, okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, you have questions. Okay, we're coming to you.
Thank you. That's all.
Okay, thank you. I'm the one who wrote that question. So just a follow-up on business expenses. If you're trying to separate your personal assets, for instance, but you want the business to shoulder the expenses. So how do you go about that? Like, for instance, you can't necessarily buy a house under the company name. My business is risky. So you can be sued at any time. So I don't want to have my house be part of the, if I get sued or anything like that. So how do you leverage your personal assets, but yet get the business to cover the expenses?
I understand your question, but it's not the question. That's consultancy. Yeah, so you need to pay for that. Thank you. So now let me say this. Everything we are saying here, we are speaking theory. So you need to get professionals to now do the. So you need a lawyer. You need, I don't know whether you guys have CPA, auditor, tax consultant, financial. So you need to have those people on your. So if you get the book, all these things are there. All the people you need. You need a mentor. You need a spiritual covering. You need a lawyer. All the people you need to work all these things are there in the book. So, and you already have the book. So read it. You see. So I'm here now. I'm wearing 2 caps now. Pastor Olumide Emmanuel is different from Dr. Olumide Emmanuel. So Pastor Olumide Emmanuel can counsel you on spiritual matter. Doctor does not do free things. He charges. So when they told me to come, and I said, look, you know what, you guys are my children. I'm going to come, but you know that. I told them, I said, look, are they going to pay? I can't be jumping around. If I stay in my business, I know how much I'm going to make. I do $10,000 for every speaking engagement. So why will I come to Australia, spend the whole week, and I can't get $100,000? What am I coming to do? But they said, I said, okay, I'm coming. He said, see, I'm just coming to be a blessing. So I told them, I said, look, you guys, I'm not going to do that. Hello? The ticket to come here alone is about $20,000. Business class. So why am I going to be wasting my time jumping to Australia to go and do what? So you need to now get those professionals, and you know they will charge you per hour. So some of the questions you are asking, I will not answer. Yeah, so go and do that work and pay, because you are not paying. So
We have a question here that
the cheapest way. No, let's take him. He's been lifting his hand. Yeah, we need to get him. So now the cheapest way to get it is just go and get the book. That's the cheapest one now. It's cheaper. Everything there is less than $500, so it's cheaper for you. Yes.
So what's your opinion of buying businesses cash down, no cash down?
Buying businesses or buying property?
Buying businesses, no cash down.
Buying businesses cash.
No cash down.
No cash down.
No cash down.
Yeah, it depends on the kind of business. So for instance, I advise people, one of the things I advise people to do, especially when you start the wealth creation network stuff I'm talking about, when you start wealth creation networks, 2 things I recommend for people to do is real estate and franchising. Real estate and franchising. Because what we have done all over the world is what we call fractional ownership. So right now, we buy properties. So we get 10 people together, $10,000. I'll buy $100,000 property and they get $1,000 minimum every month. And they share among the 10 of them. So we've done that, lots of that. We do that right now. We do that regular. That's what one of the things I do. So, and then you can buy a franchise and own a restaurant and own chains of franchises as a group. And you don't even need to manage it. You are the owner and somebody else manages it. So you can buy businesses without any cash once you have that opportunity to do it. And the return from the business can pay for the business and give it that. You can do that.
So how do you deal with trust? How do you collaborate with people of different culture?
Legal documentation, that's all. I don't need to trust you. How many of you have bank accounts? Do you know the owner of the bank? Do you trust them? Why? Because there's a document, there's an insurance. That's why you do what you do. Do you know the owner of the... So everything you are doing that you call trust is because there is legality backing it up. So you don't really trust them, you trust the system. You trust the justice system, you trust the law. So anything you want to do with anybody, no matter the culture, legality. So when everybody comes together, get the lawyer, we all document our thoughts, we come up with an MOU, we come up with ethics, and they will say, okay, for instance, I give you an example. For the properties we buy that we do fractional ownership, because of my understanding of the taxation system, many of the people, because what I try to get people to do is to earn money in foreign currency in Nigeria. So we buy property. So they come together, 10 people, 9 people sometimes, and they put $10,000 together and we buy a house for them. And we have an agreement. Okay, this house, everybody's going to bring $10,000 together and we'll buy one house. If we want to buy the next house, you don't have to be part of it. So we are only tied together for this one house. And now, nobody can pull out. So you can't wake up tomorrow and say, I'm not doing it again. You insulted me. You didn't. There's no emotional sentiment here. You can't pull out. Except somebody else is replacing you. Because you can't mess up 9 people's life because you have lack of emotional intelligence. Hello? So all those things are documented. The guy is saying, I'm going to give you a piece of my mind. I'm going to give you a piece of my mind. That's why you have lost your mind. Because you have given pieces of your mind to different people. So the laws are there. And then the law in that constitution states that we are not going to share the money that comes from that property until after 1 year. Why? Because if you know anything about real estate, boiler can spoil. And 3 months rent will have to go. Something can go wrong. So, and then you are going to pay insurance, you're going to pay taxes. So after we have collected rent for 12 months, we'll now remove tax, we'll remove insurance. Whatever is left, we'll now keep 20% of it again for emergency. It is the remaining we can share. So all those things are documented and it has never failed. Because it is the so that's you know it's not about culture. It's about the law. So make sure there's a document everybody signs, everything is clear. Before you collect money from anybody, let the document be clear, let there be full disclosure. So that nobody will wake up tomorrow and say I was not aware. So that's it.
There's a question here that is asking, with networking strategically, how can we be linked to some of these networks when they've got some, as Christians, without compromising our faith, because they have some practices that are not pure?
So you see, please listen and listen well. Many times we don't understand the power of our faith. And when I see Christians afraid of the devil, I'm wondering they should be afraid of you. Why are you not thinking that your presence will scare them? Why are you thinking that your presence will make them to pollute you? Why is that your thinking pattern? Why are you not, when light comes, darkness disappears? There is nothing called darkness. Darkness is the absence of light. You are in this world, but you are not of this world. So God wants you to have contact without contamination. So apart from the ones that are overtly demonic, if you are joining a group, there's a website, there's an application process. And once you see the application process and you see what you need to do to become a member, you will know whether there is compromise here or not. Most of what you are calling compromise is lack of understanding of the way the marketplace works. Why? You join a group and they meet in the club or they meet in the night. And then when they are serving people, now look at what we have now. We have water, we have fizzy drink, we have pizza. When you get there, there's alcohol, there's smoke, there's everything. Is that what you're calling compromise? That's not compromise. That's just life. They didn't put it in your mouth. They didn't force you to drink. You take water, you sit down, they are smoking, they are doing it also. You sit down there, you have your discussion, you move on with your life. If you are so weak that sitting down with them will pollute you, your Christianity is not strong. Then you are never really, you don't even understand your Christianity. That means you are in the outer court. Hello? So look for the ones you can join that doesn't involve anything overtly evil, and then you're good to go. I mentioned chaplain. Even as a pastor, being a part of a chaplain does not mean that they are spiritual people. Hey, it doesn't mean that chaplains are spiritual. No. It's just a platform that you can use to leverage. Rotary doesn't mean you go to Rotary, but these are where you meet the people that really matter. So you need to look into your environment and know the different groups that exist and join.
How can we separate business, church, friends, and family?
Okay, please note, in every country, depending on the law of the land, as a church, there are some things you cannot do. So when you are a pastor, when I started it, I spoke about understanding your economic environment. You can have a church, and the church can have a business. And the business is registered as a business arm of the church. So the church will be tax exempt, but the business will pay taxes. Depending on, I don't know what kind of registration you guys have here, but I know you guys are close to the UK, some of the way you operate. So in the UK, we have what we call the Charity Commission. And then you can either register your business as a business with guarantee or without guarantee, and then you can choose not to register with the Charity Commission. Because in the UK, when you register with the Charity Commission, then you get 28p for every £1 that you get from taxpayers. So many churches register with Charity Commission to get that money. But then when you do that, you come under the control of their law. But there are people that do what we call limited by guarantee. I don't know if that's what you guys are. So you don't operate under the Charity Commission system. You can do a lot of things. So as a church, as a pastor, get a lawyer to understand what I've just said now with reference to your environment. So that you have your, so for instance, let me use my example in Nigeria now. Because I have offices in different parts of the world. So I'm registered in the UK, I'm registered in America, I'm registered in Nigeria. So I am the overseer of a network of churches called the Truth of Calvary Ministries. We have branches all over the world. It's part of our network. So now, as the overseer of that church is a ministry. I'm the founder, I'm the overseer. I'm not the owner of the church. Do you understand? But now I have my own ministry. It's called Olumide Emmanuel Ministry. Under that ministry, my partnership is under. My books, my products are under. So because all my products, my training are under, I don't pay tax because I'm a ministry. Do you understand now? But I also now run a business called Common Sense Group. So I put all my books, all my training under the ministry. So when I go to the US to speak and I charge $10,000 for speaking, they don't give me the check. I tell them to pay it to my ministry. So it's not my money, it's ministry income. But who is the owner of the ministry? Me. So when I want to travel and I want to buy a ticket, I don't buy from my pocket. I buy from the ministry because I'm going on mission. Hello? So that's how you need to know which law that you are able to. So you have to separate ministry from business, from personal, from everything should separate. So your family, a lot of people run church as a family business. It's an error. You're going to end up in jail and end up in hell also. So, yeah, because you're a thief. So if you're a pastor of a church, you should earn a salary. The board of trustees of the church should be able to decide this is the pastor's income and these are the benefits of the pastor. So unlike business, the church can buy a house and your family lives in the house. It's called the vicarage. So in the church, As a pastor, the church can buy the house, buy the car, everything that a businessman enjoys. You are the CEO of that church. So they buy a house, but that house is bought in the name of the church. And then you and your family live in the house as the vicarage of the church because you are employed by the church. But the day you mess up, they will sack you and your family will be moved out of the house. And another pastor will come. Do you understand how that works? You know what happened to Hillsong and all these guys. So those are things that so just understand the way the system works and get professionals to guide you right.
So how can you use your debt to create wealth? And this one goes with it. How can I know the best industry to invest for investment or investing?
Okay, so now there's good debt and there's bad debt. So when you have good debt, many of you have credit card, and if you know how to use the credit card, I tell people, so people say, no, you don't need a credit card. If I live in the Western world, I will have a credit card. Why? Because that's how they record your credit score. That's how they know whether you have. So even if you have the cash, don't use your cash. So if you have $500 in your account and you want to buy something of $350, instead of taking $350 cash to pay, use your credit card to pay. And at the end of the month, pay. So you will not be paying the interest on the credit card, but your credit score will be rising because you have never owed and your credit score will be high. Do you understand that? So don't use the credit card to build your credit score and pay it every month. And that's it. Even for your mortgage, they tell you no money down, 5% down, 20% down, da. But what you don't understand is this. The word mortgage is from the same word mortuary, mortician. Yeah, it's a grip of debt. So, but it's something that the capitalist system has put in place to help people. So what you need to do is to understand how to play the mortgage game. Don't ever sign for any mortgage that is all these 15, 20, 25 years. You are putting yourself in bondage. You know why? If there's any builder here, they will tell you. Every time you buy a property through the mortgage system, listen to this. By the time you finish paying, you have paid a minimum of 5 times of the cost of the building. Every time you buy a property through mortgage, the cost of the land plus the entire building is less than 40% of what they are selling the property to you. So 70% is already put on it. So it's better to actually buy and build and use your money or go into the real estate business as a corporation. And one thing you can do is instead of paying your mortgage every month, pay it every 2 weeks. If you pay your mortgage every 2 weeks, you will now realize that we have more than 12 months in a year. Many of you don't know that a year is more than 12 months. So if you pay it every 2 weeks, you'll be paying 13 to 14 months in a year. Because there are 4 months in a year that have 5 weeks. And that reduces your years by between 3 to 5 years. Add an extra $100 to $300 to your mortgage every month, and you reduce it by another 3 to 5 years. So you can pay off your mortgage in 10 years if you just apply these 2 principles. So there is so much that can be spoken about, but they are not counseling issue, they are consultancy issue. So where do you invest? When you have money, invest in things that can produce income. Invest in money markets. So look into your country, check the treasury bills, check bonds, check stocks, check fixed deposit, check the income if it works with you with reference to the inflation rate of your country. Then check real estate. And for most of you now, I'm seeing a lot of phones now. I'm seeing Apple, I'm seeing Samsung. Do you have shares in Apple? Do you have shares in Samsung? Many of you are on Facebook. Do you have shares on Facebook? You use Google. Do you have shares on Google? You do Zoom. Do you have shares on Zoom? So buy shares of the companies that are doing amazingly well, and then invest in real estate. So even if you can't do it on your own, come together, do fractional ownership, and 10 of you can co-own a property, and you can co-own a franchise. So those are different things you can invest into. And if you have any skill or any expertise you can invest in yourself. So I've written books, I have different curriculums, I have different courses. I invest in myself. I have a studio, I have all kinds of things I do. So because I'm an author, I set up a publishing company. I set up a printing press. It's called backward integration. Because I travel a lot, I set up a travel and tour company. So every year I help people to travel, operate visas for people. He started that with us before he left. And so there's so much you can do. And you'll be amazed. Because I know a lot of people have marital problems. Right now, if I just today alone, I've gotten 4 people that want me to take them through a marital process. They are ready to pay, but I don't have the time. I have right now over 200 people on my waiting list that wants to pay, but I don't have the time for them. And I say I want to recommend. They say it's you we want. We're going to wait. What are they listening to? It's just because I went for courses and that's so. There's so much that can be done. So invest in yourself, invest in your knowledge, invest in your skill, and you'll be amazed at how far you can go.
Pastor Tammy.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
For the information. There is a scenario that I really want to tell you about the investment.
Okay.
That we got a couple of friends together, and just advise, put money together to invest. And amongst those people, there are few of them that are people back in Nigeria, and some of them really believe that I think that should stand. Sorry. Many of them believe that investment turnover is very quick in Nigeria and is good, and went into that business and everything commenced because we had to use one of the partners' brother, who is a certified builder and all that in Nigeria, and everything went down. So the whole investment is gone down the drain. Now the friendship is all scattered. So what advice would you give? Is it to invest where you live or to invest where you presume the interest rate or the investment will turn around will be very good?
Okay, so part of the documentation that you need to have is to understand that when you talk of investment, there's what we call the 2 R's of investment. Investment is risk and return. There is no risk-free investment anywhere in the world. Not one. So anyone going into a business, lawyers will tell you that. So we say to people in law that whenever you are doing business with anybody, let your mind already be in court. Because the people that come to the pulpit to say I do are the people that will end up in divorce courts with irreconcilable difference. And there are no irreconcilable difference, only irreconcilable people. So when everything is documented, if this money is lost, what do we do? So all those things will have been documented. Now to go to your question or to your specific. I cannot tell you invest in Australia, invest in Nigeria. It's your choice. I can tell you for free that in Nigeria today, if you invest in real estate, you will make more money than anywhere in the world. But if you are in Australia, the Nigerian currency is not a very reliable currency. So even if you do 100% return, by the time you change it back to Australian dollar, you have lost money. Do you understand? So when people ask me, should I invest in Nigeria? In fact, let me give you a joke. If somebody comes to me now and say, I would like to invest, what should I invest into? As a financial consultant, I have to ask you 5 questions before I can answer, because I do customize. Number 1, what is your investment goal? Why do you want to invest? Are you investing just to have an asset? Are you investing for cash flow? Are you investing for your retirement? I need to know. Number 2, how much do you have to invest? Number 3, what is your risk appetite? How risky do you want to go? Because the lower the risk, the lower the return. Number 4, how long do you have? Number 5, what is the source of the money? When I ask you all those questions, it will help me to give you an answer. So if I'm to answer your question now, if you are from Nigeria, I will advise you at least you should have 2 properties in Nigeria. At least 2, just because you are in Nigeria. When God created you and gave birth to you in Nigeria, He didn't make a mistake. There is a portion of Nigeria that belongs to you. Not to take it is to leave money on the table. God forbid that Ukraine war happens in Australia. There are people that never believe that COVID will come. If you don't learn from COVID, you might never learn. So what if something happens and they say everybody should go back to their town? Where will you go to? Hello? God forbid. There are people that have spent 30 years in the Western world, they had to run away because they got into trouble that they were not guilty of, but it was either jail or run. And now they run back to Africa, nothing. So you must have at least 2 houses. Number 2, if you have people in Nigeria that are always calling you for money, you still have people in Nigeria that are dependent on you, then you need to have property in Nigeria. Why? So that when they call on you, you don't need to be stressed. The rent and the income will already be there for you to just do a transfer and settle all the mosquitoes. Do you understand the way that was? So those are some of the things you need to have at the back of your mind. So I will advise you, stop looking at Nigeria the way it was. Technology has advanced a lot of things. As I'm standing here right now, we have short-let apartments. Right on my phone right now, I can connect to the internet and I will know where all my cars are. We have short-let apartment. I can go online now and check whether there's somebody living in that house. I can check on the CCTV now, all the properties in Nigeria. I can check where my wife is right now. I can check where all my cars are right now, right on this phone, anywhere in the world. So you can own properties in Nigeria and manage it as short-let and service apartment. And from here, you will give them the code to enter the house. The door will not be open until you press it from here. These are technology. The Nigeria is not old school. I don't know when you left. Nigeria has gone far. So I will advise you to consider that. So all you need to do is to answer those questions and deal with people that are reputable. So if you want to do anything real estate in Nigeria, I can help you. Whether it's buying land, buying houses, managing the houses, building, construction, I can help you with all that. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Does usury ever raise his hand in your war? Usury. Usury.
Okay, usury. Okay.
Usury, and I'm also interested in what's your opinion is of my plans for my future to use herbalism as a mission, Christian mission, to the healthcare industry, to the lost in the industry.
Okay, so now the Bible speaks against usury. And that means when you are collecting money from people and charging them exorbitant, rates. So in the financial market, things are regulated. So we have what we call the fiscal policy and monetary policy. You have central banks of different countries that regulate the rate of interest. So they can increase interest. So whenever you are doing anything in the money market, there is a window within which you can operate. Once you go outside of that window, then you get into what is usually so. So that's the way that works. And then when you have a passion to do anything, whether it's ministry, reaching out to the poor, reaching out to the less privileged, you need to understand that there has to be a system and structure in place for sustainability. Because it's not just to start, you should be able to sustain it. So before you start, don't just be so passionate, I want to take care of poor people. You can end up being poor. So if you are planning to take care of poor people, how will you take care of them? Where will the money for taking care of them come from? How will you sustain them? Because taking care of poor people means you want to empower them. And empowerment is not giving them food because they will be coming forever. So you need to be able to empower them with something that will make them to start earning on their own without having to depend on you.
We have one more question.
Yeah, we have.
So everybody's listening. We should start charging now. $100 per question.
Thank you, Dr. Olumide Emmanuel. It's really been good. This is actually one of my areas. I also operate in the marketplace and all of that, and I probably listen to you as well, and not the common sense approach. But my question is, somebody talked about if you're in a networking group where there seems to be, lack of integrity and all of that. I want to say that there's some networking groups that are actually Christian networking groups. So some of us are part of that. So it's just what you said. You're right. There's a Babylonian system. There's also the kingdom system. But there's some right here in Australia that are Christian based, and that's we're going to join the BNI. It's also very good. It's the biggest in the world. So having said that, I just wanted to share some light. I think it will help a lot of us. The Bible says that we should be wise as a serpent, and be meek as a dove. Most of us lean towards one side of the spectrum, in the sense that we're too meek than we are wise. I think we touched on it. We're praying all the time from Africa. We're binding this, all of that stuff. This one must die, that one must be. And some people start pregnant and they're like, oh God, you have to do this. But I know that there is a distinction between the principles of Christ and the personhood of Christ. And I would like if you can touch on that. That would liberate a lot of people who believe that, okay, as Christians, we only need to pray all the time and business to grow. Thank you.
God is the creator of all and the savior of some. So everyone on earth is created by God, but not everyone is redeemed, even though the price has been paid. As a creator, in order to perpetuate and sustain his creation, he put principles in place. Principles have nothing to do with redemption. So whether you are saved or not, whether you are an atheist or not, the rain will fall on the righteous and the unrighteous. If you breathe in, you will breathe out. If you plant corn, it will grow. It has nothing to do with redemption. So the principles of Jesus are the principles that the Creator has put in place for success, sustenance on this earth. And whether you are born again or not, if you apply it, it will work for you. But the problem is that because we don't understand, when we now get born again and we embrace the person of Jesus, we now think that the person of Jesus will give us everything we need. And the Bible never said that. So when Jesus was on earth, he was a physical human being. He was in one place at a time. And everywhere he went, he was preaching, teaching, and healing. Those things he was preaching and teaching are the principles. Sermon on the Mount, parables, those are the principles. He was teaching the principles of delegation, the principles of investment, the principles of plan. Which of you intending to build a tower? We know first of all sit down and count the cost. All these are all principles of Jesus. Now, when you get born again and receive the person of Jesus, it guarantees your peace and your eternity. But if you are going to succeed here on earth, it's the principles that will make you succeed. So what has happened is that the church has embraced the person of Jesus, but we have rejected the principles of Jesus. So we are going through hell on the way to heaven. And the world has embraced the principles of Jesus, and they have rejected this person. So they are going through heaven on earth on their way to hell. But what you need to do is to embrace the person plus the principle. So when you are a Christian, for every aspect of life, there are principles that determine whether it will succeed. So if you are a Christian and you are a student, the principles of examination success is not prayer. It's being studious. It's attending lectures. It's understanding the lecture. It's preparing for exam. And it's sitting for the exam. What does prayer do? Prayer supports you to do what needs to be done. The supernatural is a combination of super plus natural. The super will remain super without the natural. The natural will remain natural without the super. So for you to succeed in any aspect of life, you must identify the principle. Marriage, whether you are born again or not, does not determine marital success. Success in marriage is not a function of redemption. It's a function of the application of principles of relational success. In finances, you don't succeed in finances because you are prayerful. I cannot pray for you to become a pilot. You have to go to school. So I can't pray for you to prosper. I can't lay hands on you and pour oil on you and say it's the anointing for prosperity. It will not work. Why? Because you don't anoint people to prosper. You anoint people to do what they need to do to prosper. So when I anoint you, the anointing will help you to save. So many times when you are praying that God should give you $10,000, if you save 1,000 every month, in 10 months your prayer will be answered. So when you look at the Bible calls it the working of miracles. There is a work. That's why faith without work is dead. So if you're a business person, it says be wise as a serpent. What is the wisdom of the serpent? I think I still said it this morning or yesterday. There's a wisdom of the serpent. And I did a series on that, part 1 to 3, in the wisdom of the serpent. So you study the wisdom of the serpent and you apply it in the marketplace. So when you go into the market, you need to understand the leaven and how to blend into the system and the culture. And that's how you So you need to find out what works in the secret court and in the secret place. So if you go into the marketplace, you are either in the secret court or you are in the secret place. I need to understand the way these things work in the market. So I don't know, but I think that's just because of time. Yeah.
Just wanted to ask a question, sir, relating to something you mentioned in the morning about old wine, new wine, old skin. There's something called exchange traded funds, ETFs. And in terms of cryptocurrency, I just wanted to know where you stand, sir, because the generation now, they're very savvy when it comes to cryptocurrency. But older generation, they're thinking, no, don't do that, don't do that. Many years, I think 10 years ago, it was really bad. In the last few months, there's been the US Federal Reserve are beginning to bring out something called Bitcoin ETFs, and people are starting to adopt it. So I just wanted to know your take on that.
Okay, cryptocurrency is the currency of the future. So cryptocurrency is real, and it's something that will be relevant going forward. But majority of the crypto platforms are fraud. Many of them are fraudulent, they are fake. So for you to go into cryptocurrency, you need to spend time to study and understand it, then you go into it. So for people of my own generation, I believe in crypto, I believe in forex, but I don't invest my money in that because I've discovered what works. So I do real estate. It has not failed me. And there's never going to be AI or technology that will replace people needing a place to stay. So I don't need to, you cannot be so sophisticated that you won't need a roof over your head. So I've discovered that real estate is the real investment. So I sit down with real estate. So all these crypto nights, no problem, it's good. But I don't do it. Not because it's not genuine, because I'm not interested. I already have what's working for me. What am I looking for? So let me just continue my winning formula. But for younger people, they can try it because, see, there are things we also tried that made us to learn. So they can try. If you start, you put your money in crypto and it's lost. By the time you start investing at 25, maybe at 28, you lose the money. You cry for 1 year. You start afresh again. By 32, you lose the money. You cry again. At least by the time you lose 2, 3, 4 times, you wake up and wise up. You are still alive. But for somebody of my age, it can lead to high blood pressure, hypertension, stroke, and death. So
we don't have much time there. However, there are many of you now who are putting up your hands to ask questions. And I'm going to do something that maybe some of you will be upset with me for the night. But we will love each other because I need to collaborate with you so that we can do business. However, I will ask Doctor to just probably, if you have a question, quickly ask it and he will give you a snippet, because remember he said there is no voice without invoice. So now, from now on, it's now invoice time. It's now invoice time. You agree with me? Beautiful. So the quick question, and the doctor will just give a quick answer.
Oh, yeah.
Because no
quick question. So what's the question? Straight.
The question is if you are supposed to network.
Okay.
And then some of those network places, like a Christian, will be different. So I'm in 1 or 2. I'm just about to exit that group.
Why do you want to exit?
One, a lot of gay people, like the secretary is a gay.
So what's your business with that?
That's my business. And then the last time I went for the mission, because they know I'm Christian.
Okay.
This is our Bible.
Okay.
It's different from your own Bible.
Okay.
I just want to know.
But that's not a church. It's not a church. You didn't go to church. So why are you expecting them to behave like church? It's like going to a restaurant and expecting praise and worship. You went to a restaurant to eat. You went there to network. What's your business whether a man is kissing him? But that's his life. Let him live his life and face his consequence. Face what you went there for. You didn't go there for Bible study. It's not house fellowship. Yes, ma'am. Same question. Okay.
Thank you so much for all that you shared. We really have learned a lot. I'm a woman of certain age, over a certain age. I really would love if you already have the network and the system put in place. So when you talk about people coming together and doing group wealth building, you have already set up the system. I really would love if you can plug us into the system. Instead of me going around, trying to draw some documents and all that, can you please give us a way? I know you've given us at this point. This is high level. Is there a place for people to start with those groups?
For those groups that I am involved in, the minimum is $10,000. So, and it's for real estate in America. So, I think the one that we are doing now, we still have slot for 5 people. So if 5 people come, so what we do is $10,000. The minimum we do is 80,000 American dollars here. The minimum we do is 80,000 because we are buying properties in Detroit. Detroit went bankrupt years ago. So we have over 42 properties there. So we do more of Detroit because you can get properties of 80, 90, 100,000. So we play within 80,000 and above. So the one we are doing right now is $80,000. So 3 people have paid 30,000. So we are waiting for 5 more people to pay. So once the 8 people is complete, you wait for 90 days because we now go bid for the property, buy the property, renovate, do insurance, do quit claim deed, and then we'll put the tenants in there. So the way it works is the rent will be minimum of $1,000 a month. And then the agent will collect his own percentage, and then we do it for 1 year. So if you're interested, that's minimum of $10,000 that we can plug in. So sometimes, depending on when you enter, that's what determines how much. So for instance, now, people have paid 30,000 now, and their money is just sitting down there. We can't do anything until it's up to 80. So until we have 5 more people. So those are the problems that you can have because of what we are doing. So that's the only one that I can talk to or speak to now, because I really don't have the time to run where people are paying monthly. But this one, we know it's just one. Once we've done the house, we hand over. You'll be getting your rent. It's you and the agent every month, and that's so that's what we do. Yeah.
2 more questions.
Okay.
My question is, in the ministry,
Ministry as in church. Ministry. Okay.
Yeah, well, it's 7 out of church. For example, you're 7 when you're working in the ministry outside, in the work area, where you're working with people from the ministry. How can we separate that? Because they're expecting as a 7, when they come to the workplace, you meant to, because they have a relationship with you in church, they're expecting for you to compromise. And you don't want to compromise. So, and they're looking, oh, is she not this person? Is she not that person? How can we separate ourselves from them? That if I'm working, I'm working. I don't want to do church at work. I want to be the boss. So how can we do that without them feeling that you're being proud, you're being arrogant, or you're thinking you're too good?
Okay. So I want us to break down the word compromise, because compromise is not necessarily a bad word. So I need to understand what you mean by compromise. So if you are saying compromise with reference to doing something illegal, doing something, but if you are talking of compromise with reference to special favors, then there's nothing wrong. Yeah. As long as the special favor is not contrary to professionalism and the policies and the ethics of the profession, then there's nothing wrong. The Bible says, do good to all men, especially to those of the household of faith. That's why I have you there. You're my sister. So what's the benefit of having you as my sister? But I'm not going to tell you to change figures. I'm not going to tell you to say I'm present when I'm absent. But if my son is having a program in school and is making a presentation, and I'm asking for 2 hours to quickly run and come, because you are my sister, you know that family is important to me, even though it's not my leave period, you can give me that, because we have a relationship. Do you understand? So we need to define what the compromise is, because sometimes you can think you are principled, but what's now the benefit of the relationship? Do you understand now? So that's because what you have said now causes trouble even in marriage, where spouses don't realize that, yes, you are my spouse, that's why I'm asking. Because, yeah, I should get benefit because my wife is husband. So that's
Our last question for the night.
Thank you so much. Just wanted to ask what criteria should I consider in trying to understand the business of my career?
Okay. So when you are in any career, you work to learn. So once you enter, all you are looking for is learning. How does this thing work? How was it set up? How did they develop products? How did they get customers? How do they price? How do they pay our salary? How do they do the markup? You are learning. And where is the business here? So you are learning. Who are our vendors? Who are our stakeholders? Who are the people we pay money to? Why are they? So you are beginning to see. So if you are in an industry, for instance, now, and you realize that in your company, you guys are spending like 800,000 in a year paying for logistics. That means in that business, there's logistic business. I can start logistics and be the one collecting the 800,000. Your salary in a year is 60,000, but you are paying another person 800,000 because they have a logistic company. If I own a logistic company, because I have the experience of having worked in the business, I have a leverage of getting the business. Are you getting that now? You sit down in the company, you realize that, okay, I'm a medical doctor, but every year we use gloves, we use face mask, we use syringes, and I'm like, okay, I can actually start producing gloves. I can start importing gloves because that's a business in that place. And you start supplying, you see medical equipment. So that's how you think. You are learning how things work to look at where the money is going and coming, and you position yourself. That's it.
Thank you for taking time to watch this video. We believe you've learned something of great value. On this channel, we share videos on finances and wealth creation from biblical perspective. You can find more similar videos on this channel. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share and subscribe. Let us know what you've learned in the comment section.